Hello friends, welcome to Alankar Pharmacy classes again. So the today's topic is illustration tanks, one of the very important topic in size separation. So without wasting our time, let's start. The contents of today's video are introduction, then principle, working the single illustration tank and multiple illustration tanks, and lastly advantages, disadvantages and uses. These illustration methods are classified under classification methods of size separation. And now what are these classification methods? The classification methods are based on the rate of settling of particles into different parts of narrow size ranges particles. And as you can easily understand through these lines, that basically these are based on the rate of settling of particles, different types of size ranges of the particles. Basically these are based on the rate of settling of particles according to its size. Now the separation of particles depends on the densities of particles, the coarser part containing heavy particles and finer part containing lighter particles. So in the case of classification methods, the separation is basically based on the densities of the particles. Now you can understand the coarser particle or heavy particle that will tends to settle first in the bottom of any container because of the gravity. But the settling velocity of the lighter portion will be less, and on the basis of this property of the particles may be separated out. Before proceeding to the next point, another very important topic, that is what is the difference between sedimentation and elutriation. In the case of sedimentation, particles are basically simply settles down, that is because of gravity, and this is basically a sedimentation. But in the case of elutriation, this is the process for separating the lighter particles from heavier ones using a vertically directed stream of gas or liquid. Basically in the case of sedimentation, the liquid is kept stationary. But in the case of a elutriation, the liquid flows in the opposite direction of the sedimentation movement of the particles. Now you can understand in the case of elutriation, the direction of the settling of the particles is same as in the case of sedimentation, that is towards the lower portion of the any tank or equipment or vessel. But in the case of elutriation, the direction of movement of liquid is kept opposite, that is vertically upwards. On the other hand, in the case of sedimentation, this liquid is kept stationary and it is not moving. Now in the case of sedimentation, particles moves in the direction of gravitational force. Simply the particles falls because of gravity. But in the case of elutriation, some particles moves against the gravitational force. And why it is so? Because in this case the liquid is moving vertically upwards. If the particle is having a more velocity as compared to the vertically moving liquid, then sedimentation will be still there. But the lighter particles having a less velocity as compared to the vertically moving liquid, they will be trapped by the molecules of the liquid and they will be carried away by this liquid. In this case, the lighter portion will be easily separated by the denser portion, and this is the basic difference between the sedimentation and elutriation. That's why in such case some particles moves against the gravitational force. Now in the case of sedimentation, the heavier or denser particles settles first, then the lighter particle settles over it. But in the case of elutriation, the particles having more settling velocity compared with the liquid moving in the opposite direction settles down. As we have already discussed, the particles which are having a less settling velocity as compared to the vertically moving liquid, they will be trapped by the water molecules and they will be carried away simply by the liquid, and the settling of the coarser particle will be still there because of its mass and density. The velocity of settling of such particles is higher as compared to the liquid, and that's why these particles are not trapped and sedimentation will be still there, and in such case simply the lighter particles can be separated from the heavy particles by controlling the velocity of the vertically moving liquid. In the case of sedimentation, the direction of movement of particles is same. That is, all particles are basically moving in the downward direction irrespective of its size. And why is it so? Because in the case of sedimentation, the liquid is basically kept stationary, that we have already discussed, and this is the reason why the direction of movement of all particles is same. In the case of illustration, the direction of movement of particles varies, and again the reason is same, because of the vertically moving liquid. Time required for the separation decides the size separation. In the case of illustration, one more factor that is additionally responsible for the separation of particles, that is the velocity of the liquid. And there is one more factor, that is the cross-sectional area of the vessel. Now you can understand if the cross-sectional area of any vessel is more, that means in spite of keeping the flow rate constant, the velocity of the liquid will be less. And that's why this is also one of the factor which decides the extent of the size separation in the case of illustration. So these all are the differences between the sedimentation and illustration. You can better understand the concept through this figure also. This is the case of sedimentation. Now you can see the lighter particles. This is a lighter particle. The movement of the lighter particles as well as the heavier particles or coarser particles is same. Why is it so? Because the liquid in this case is kept stationary. But in the case of illustration tank or illustration method, the liquid is moving vertically in the opposite direction of the sedimentation direction of the particles. And that's why if the liquid is having a velocity more than the particles, then in that case it will start moving along with the liquid, and this will be carried away separately. In this way, these lighter particles are then separated from these heavy particles. The settling velocity of these particles is having a more velocity as compared to the vertically moving liquid, and that's why this will settle down and sedimentation will be still there. But in the case of lighter portion, they will be carried away simply by these water molecules along with them, and this can be collected and can be treated for the further purification process. So this is the difference between the sedimentation and illustration. Now the next topic is the principle of the illustration tanks. As already discussed, the fluid flows in the opposite direction of the settling movement of the particles, and the sedimentation is still possible for the particles having velocity greater than the liquid moving vertically upwards. But the particles settling slowly will be trapped and moved upwards along with liquid. Very fine particles may be removed with liquid in overflow. So this is the simple principle of the illustration tanks. Now let's come to the working part. First of all, we will discuss about the single illustration tank and working of the multiple illustration tank. In the case of a single illustration tank, the feed is introduced from the bottom. Fluid or feed is basically introduced from the bottom, because in this case we have to move the liquid vertically upward, and that's why the feed is always introduced from the bottom side. Now the liquid is allowed to move in vertical direction, whereas particles tends to settle down due to gravitational force. As discussed in the principal section, the particles with greater velocity, heavier or coarser particles, settles down to the bottom due to the gravitational force and collected from bottom. And in this way, by adjusting the velocity of the particle fractions, we can collect the particles of different densities from the bottom. In this way, a single column, that is the single illustration tank, can be used to separate the particles in two fractions, and in general these type of illustration tanks are generally used to separate the particles in two fractions. The lighter portion of particles may also be separated through overflow. This is a simple pictorial representation of the working of the single illustration tank. Now you can see here the feed or the suspension for which we want to separate the particles are feed from the lower segment of the tank, and in this way the liquid will move vertically upwards, again the same thing is there. The particle having a more velocity or more coarser particle is there, having a more velocity as compared to the vertically moving liquid, they will settle down towards the bottom of this container and they can be collected from here. So in this way, we can separate the coarser particles. But on the other hand, if there are some lighter portion is there or lighter particles are there, they will be carried away by this fast moving vertically moving liquid, since the velocity of these particles is comparatively less as compared to the liquid, and that's why they will be trapped and they will be moved along with this liquid to the outlet for fine particles. In this way, the lighter portion is separated from the heavier portion. This is the working of the single elutriation tank. In the case of these multiple elutriation tanks of different cross section are arranged in series, and the feed is introduced from the bottom of the first tank. The overflow of the tank is connected with the feed of another tank having more cross sectional area, and similarly third tank is filled by the overflow of the second tank, and in this way the tanks are connected together and we can get the better size separation. The flow rate is kept constant in all tanks, but in the case of these multiple elutriation tanks, since the cross sectional area of the tanks are different, and that's why, since the tanks are having a different cross sectional area, that's why more coarser particles are retained in the first tank, because the first tank is having a less cross sectional area, and that's why the vertically moving liquid in this case will have a more velocity as compared to the other tanks, and that's why the more coarser particles will be retained in the first tank. But on the other hand, finer portion will be retained by the next two tanks depend on their respective cross sectional area. So this is the basically a arrangement of the elutriation tank which are connected together. As you can see in this pictorial diagram, in this case there are basically three tanks are connected together. That is tank 1, tank 2 and tank 3. Now you can understand that the feed is introduced in a same way that we have already discussed in the single elutriation tank, that is the lower portion of this tank number 1. Now here you can see that the cross sectional area of the tanks are different. The cross sectional area of the tank 1 is less as compared to the tank 2. In a similar way, the tank 2 is having a less cross sectional area as compared to tank 3. Now what will happen when we introduce the feed from here? The coarser particles or the heavier particles will tend to settle down because it is having a more sedimentation velocity as compared to the vertical moving liquid, but some part of the lighter particles will be trapped by this liquid. This will start traveling towards the overflow of this tank 1, which will be introduced into the feed of the second tank. The overall flow rate of the liquid in all these tanks are kept constant. Now you can see here that the cross sectional areas are very different. That's why the velocity of the liquid in this tank will be higher as compared to the tank 2 because it is having a more cross sectional area as compared to tank 1 that we have already discussed, and in the same way the velocity of the liquid in the tank 3 will be less than the tank 2. We can say that the V1, that is the velocity of the liquid in tank 1, is more than the velocity of the liquid in tank 2, and similarly the velocity of the liquid in tank 2 will be more than the velocity of the liquid in tank 3. Here, since the velocity of the liquid is more, some particles will be trapped by the liquid and they will be carried away along with the liquid, and they will be again introduced into the tank 2 in a similar way. Now what will happen here? Since the velocity of the liquid become less, and that's why less coarser particles or less dense particles as compared to the particles settles down in the tank 1 will start settling, and we will get the more lighter fraction as compared to the tank 1. And in the same ways, again some part of the lighter particles will be retained by this liquid. They will be again introduced as a feed into the tank 3. And in this case, again the cross sectional area is very less, and that's why the lighter particles having a more settling velocity as compared to the vertical moving liquid tends to settle down, and we will get the more lighter portion as compared to the tank 2. And this cycle may be continued if we attach the more elutriation tank together. So this is all with the working of the multiple elutriation tank. Now the advantages of this elutriation tank, the process is continuous. There is a fast separation. Different tanks of a different area of cross section can be connected together to get the maximum number of fractions that are required. These all are the advantages of these elutriation tanks. But there are some disadvantages also. First of all, suspension must be dilute to avoid the hindrance during the settling by other particles. And this is not possible sometimes. Next thing, they do not give the accurately sized product as screens do. This is because the lighter fraction of the particle starts moving with liquid, moving towards the wall sides where the velocity of the liquid is less, and then tends to settle down. Now you can understand, let us assume an example of an elutriation tank. The liquid is moving vertically upwards. Velocity of this liquid up to that extent that it should not exceed the limit of the Reynolds number, that is, the value of Reynolds number should be under 2000. The moving liquid having a Reynolds number of less than 2000 is considered to be flowing in a laminar way, and that's why the particles will be carried away in a constant fashion. But this is not the actual case. Even though if we try to keep the Reynolds number under 2000, but in spite of this, the movement of liquid is faster towards the center of the tank, and that's why some of the particles will move along with the liquid when they move towards the wall sides. In such cases, the movement of liquid or the velocity of the liquid is comparatively less, and that's why they will again starts to settle down, and that's why there will be a incomplete separation or there is a inefficient separation in the case of elutriation tanks. Used for the separation of insoluble solids, for example kaolin or chalk after wet grinding. Now these elutriation tanks are also used for the washing out of 10 to 45% of the solids from the incoming sludge stream from the plants. In this way, elutriate may be recycled and can be utilized by the plant again. So this is all with the today's topic. Hope you all have liked this video. Please share with your colleagues who are in the search of this topic. Thank you, friends.